Good afternoon, YouTube, BookTube. This is Johnny. I'm going to make a video. I'm just going to get right to the point. It is December the 3rd, 2019, Tuesday afternoon, 3:49 on a cold, dreary, gray day, and I'm going to show you thrift store books and books I got at the library used bookstore, the Book Nook, where I volunteer on Mondays and Fridays from 10 until 1 in the afternoon. So today is a Tuesday. Yesterday I got at the library used bookstore, the Book Nook, I got this book. This is by Murakami, absolutely on music conversations with Seiji Ozawa. He is he was the Ozawa, the revered former conductor of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, for a series of conversations on their shared passion, music. This is all on music between these two men. Murakami, the very famous Japanese novelist. So I picked that up. Picked up this book, The Hero of the Republic, The Hero of the Empire, The Boer War, A Daring Escape, and the Making of Winston Churchill by Candice Millard. She wrote that famous book on the River of Doubt about Theodore Roosevelt's trip down the Amazon River. So this is on Winston Churchill. She also wrote a book called The Destiny of the Republic, which was a biography on, I think, one of those presidents. I can't remember now. I should have looked it up. But she wrote this book, and so I picked it up at the Book Nook yesterday. Was that? I should have brought it up here. The Destiny of the Republic. I can't remember. And I picked up this book at the Book Nook yesterday. Dance and American Art, A Long Embrace by Sharon R. Udall. Dance and American Art is a visual intellectual delight, a lavishly illustrated and eloquently written overview that traces the long-standing fascination America's artists have had with dance from the nation's beginning to the present day. From pictures of Shaker religious practices, minstrels, folk dancing, to paintings, sculptures, and photographs of modern performance arts, this far-reaching study amberly positions dance in America's visual landscape, simultaneously accounts for its meaning on social, cultural, and political terms. Highly recommended. Eric Doss, author of 20th Century American Art. It's a very beautiful book. It only cost me $2. It's really beautiful. Very, very beautiful print. It's just an incredible book. It was published by University of Wisconsin Press. It's really a beautiful book. It retails for $60. I got it for $2. So I got those at the Book Nook. These are all thrift store books. This is a novelist by an Irish writer. It was a 2006 Man Booker Prize finalist, Carry Me Down by M.J. Hyland. And then I picked this book up at a thrift store, autobiographical writing Across the Disciplines, a reader, Diane P. Freeman and Olivier Frey, editors. I'm really fascinated with autobiography and biography, and this is kind of like an academic study of this genre of writing. So I picked up that. This is an Europea edition. I pick up these Europeas, and this is The Mystery of Rio by Alberto Musa, who was a South American writer. This is translated from the Portuguese by Alan Ladd. So I got this. I collect these Europeas. And then I picked up The Rum Diary, a novel by Hunter S. Thompson. I have this already, but as I've said in past videos, if I see any books by Hunter S. Thompson, even though I might have it, I still buy them. And it was only, I think this was $1. And then I picked this novel up, Smoke City, a novel by Keith Rosen, at a thrift store. I got a lot of novels, but I figured they're really cheap. Maybe someday I'll get around to reading them. These are the ones I picked up today at thrift stores today. Today I left the house around 10 o'clock this morning and just went thrift stores north where we live, North Holland, which is about, 8 minutes from where we live. But I hadn't gone there in a week. Salvation Army and Goodwill. Now there's a Goodwill near where we live, and this is where I got those. I got these at the Goodwill, just a couple real near from where we live. I got all these at the Goodwill. I got this from the Book Nook. I got this from the Book Nook, and I got this from Goodwill. Now, all the books that I will show you in this video, I figure I spent $12 for all of them. That's why I'm always kind of surprised when people say in BookTube they went to a charity shop or a thrift store and they paid $6 or more for a used book. The most that you pay, now at the Book Nook, a hardback is $2. Paperbacks are $1. If you go to a thrift store, they're 90 cents for a hardback and 50 cents for a paperback. That's what you pay for it. Now for Salvation Army, it's 60 cents for a paperback, $1 for a hardback. Now, I'm a senior citizen, so today when I went to Goodwill, I had a senior citizen discount, but I only paid $2 for the books that I got today. Well, I got $2 I spent at Goodwill, and I spent $4 and something cents at Salvation Army. I gave them the change because Goodwill and Salvation Army provide, clothing and housing and furniture and jobs for those who are in need. So they'll say, well, you want to round it out to $5. And so I always say, yeah, just if it's $4.50 or $4.20, keep it until I give them the whole $5. So then I picked up Carson McCullers' The Member of the Wedding, which is a very famous novel. She wrote The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. She wrote that. I have other books by her down in the lower level. Yeah, I have other writings by her. So, but I picked this up in good condition. And then I picked up this book, The Good Medicine Book, The Wisdom of the Old Ones, Their Legends, Crafts, and Sacred Ways, by Son of the Blackfoot Tribe, by Adolf. Hungry Wolf. I like books on American Indians, books about, photographs, paintings, and it was only like 60 cents, and added to my Indian collection. Then I picked up this novel by A.N. Wilson. I collect his writings. He writes fiction and nonfiction. This is called Incline Our Hearts. I collect him. This is by Jo Nesbo, who writes crime fiction. This is The Redbreast, a novel. Jo Nesbo is a musician, songwriter, economist, and author. He writes those Harry Hole novels, best Norwegian crime novel of all time. He lives in Oslo. I collect him now. This is by Chuck Palahniuk. These are short stories. Stranger Than Fiction, True Stories by Chuck Palahniuk. This is a novel by somebody who I've never heard of. He only wrote this one novel by Peter Pouncey, Rules for Old Men Waiting. It was recommended by Frank McCourt, Shelley Hazard, Ward Just, Louis Bagley. All these men I collect their writings, or I collect Shirley Hazard's writings, Norman Mailer. So if I always look in the back and find out who's recommending. Now maybe you can't always take the recommendation, but usually it works out. If they liked it and praised it, and I'll tend to buy it. This is a novel by Susanna Moore. I have another novel of hers down the lower level. It was recommended by Joan Dillon. This is a winner of the Ernest Hemingway citation. She won Air Literary Awards. This is by Susanna Moore, My Old Sweetheart. This is a memoir. I like collecting memoirs, autobiographies, biographies. Taking Retirement, A Beginner's Diary by Carl H. Klaus. This is a nonfiction, What Jesus Meant by Garry Wills. I collect his writings. I have, I think, 10 of his books. He's a Roman Catholic intellectual. This is by Michael Gruber, The Book of Air and Shadows, a novel. I found out when I was cataloging this in Library Thing, I already had it. So this will go in the library, the roving library in the van, my van. And then lastly, I picked up a novel by A.M. Holmes, May We Too Be Forgiven. I have another novel of hers down in the lower level, which is titled The Safety of Objects by her. I have not read her, but she's also recommended by people I highly respect, writers I highly respect, so I picked it up. So these are the thrift store used books I picked up recently for our library. That for my, like I said, I collect books. I don't really, one reason why I collect books, it gets me out of the house. I don't really travel. I don't work. I'm retired. I don't socialize. I do volunteer at the library used bookstore. But what gets me out of the house is going to thrift stores. I did go grocery shop. I go grocery shopping with my wife. And I do go down the street and spend time with our oldest son and his wife Josie, his wife Emily, and our two granddaughters, Josie Joy and Coralie. But that's about it. So going to thrift stores gets me out of the house. And plus, I'm buying books from thrift stores, and the money goes to help the poor, helps people who are in need. So I feel like I'm giving money to those who are in need, because I'm just buying old used books. Now I do make sure that when I buy them, they're not underlined or they're not beat up. And I have found a lot of interesting books. You can tell by how when I buy used books, I'm a student. I like to learn new things. I don't read for entertainment or escapism. I read to learn. That's why in the mornings I spend a lot of time reading the Bible and studying the Bible and reading theology and reading biblical theology and reading mystical theology and all kinds of Christian books. But I like nonfiction books. Today I didn't find that many history books were any good biographies. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. But I like good fiction, and if I see something that's really cheap and it looks interesting, I'll just buy it. Now, if it was like $6, I wouldn't buy it. If it was for $3 or $4, I wouldn't buy it. But if you buy something for 60 cents and it's a Man Booker Prize finalist, and anything by Booker Prize, if it's really cheap, I'll buy it. Same as the National Book Award, any kind of Europia edition, I'll buy it if it's really cheap. And once again, I don't find them to be really expensive. I mean, I rarely spend over $1 for something like this. And once again, it gets me out of the house. I enjoy looking at books. I like going to thrift stores, and you never know what you're going to find. So I can put these down the lower level, get them out of the living room. I don't plan to read any of this stuff. I'm just going to go downstairs, try to find a place for it. So I'm hoping you're having a good Tuesday. Yesterday I watched football last night, and I can't remember what I read yesterday. So I'll sign off. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for the comments. And don't know what else to say. So I'll sign off, and until next time, bye.